According to several technology insiders and analysts from Silicon Valley, Elon Musk may be on the verge of the largest launch in Tesla's history. Not a new car, not a rocket, and not even another supercomputer, but the mass production of next-generation Optimus humanoid robots. And while just a couple of years ago, many people viewed the Optimus project as a flashy presentation and an attempt by Tesla to showcase yet another futuristic concept, the situation now looks completely different. Over the past few months, Tesla has dramatically increased the number of job openings related to robotics, machine vision, artificial skin, human joint mechanics, and neural network training for humanoid systems. Insiders close to Gigafactory Texas and the company's new facilities in Nevada claim that Tesla has already begun redesigning certain sections of its Gigafactories specifically for robot production. And the scale being discussed is not hundreds of units, but tens of thousands of robots annually. Particularly strong reactions were triggered by reports that Tesla is allegedly testing an entirely new Optimus lineup that looks far more human than anything previously shown. Sources claim the new models feature significantly smoother movement mechanics, improved facial expressions, a synthetic covering resembling human skin, and a completely new hand motor control system. In essence, Tesla is attempting to move closer to creating a robot that is perceived not as an industrial machine, but as a fully fledged humanoid assistant. And this is exactly what is generating both excitement and concern around the world today. Looking more closely at what is happening, it becomes clear that Musk is not simply building another product. He is trying to create a new industry that could potentially become larger than the automotive market itself. During his recent speeches and interviews, Musk has increasingly talked not about cars, but about robots. He openly states that in the future, the number of humanoid robots could exceed the number of people on Earth many times over. While such statements once sounded like science fiction, they are now being taken far more seriously, especially after Tesla demonstrated rapid progress with Optimus in just a matter of months. The robots learned to walk much more steadily, carry objects, sort components in factories, interact with equipment, and even perform complex hand movements. But most importantly, Tesla possesses something that almost no other robotics company in the world has. It already has giant factories, enormous production capacity, experience in ultra-large-scale manufacturing, and its own AI systems. Many analysts believe this is where the greatest threat to competitors lies, because most companies know how to create impressive prototypes, but do not know how to manufacture them by the millions. Tesla, on the other hand, knows how to scale production to almost unimaginable levels. This is why more and more experts believe Musk could become the first person to truly launch the mass robotization of humanity. According to reports from several American technology publications, Tesla has been actively purchasing new equipment in recent months for the automated assembly of robotic joints, actuators, and sensor systems. Some company employees also claim that inside Tesla, Optimus is already being treated as a priority project alongside full self-driving and the Dojo supercomputer. Furthermore, according to insiders, Tesla is allegedly testing dedicated production lines where robots themselves help assemble other robots. This is precisely what Musk previously described as the beginning of a true technological explosion. Inside Gigafactory Texas, changes are taking place that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Vast spaces that were once used exclusively for electric vehicle production are gradually being adapted for the manufacturing of humanoid platforms. New restricted research sections are appearing, security measures are being strengthened, and employees in certain divisions are facing tighter restrictions on phone usage. All of this is fueling speculation that Tesla is preparing something far bigger than simply an updated version of Optimus. Some analysts compare what is happening now to the way Apple once prepared the first iPhone. On the surface, it looked like just another experiment, but inside the company, there was already an understanding that the device would change the industry forever. A similar atmosphere is now forming around Tesla's robots. For the first time in history, there is a real possibility that humanoid machines will move beyond laboratories and become part of the daily lives of millions of people. Elon Musk increasingly repeats that in the future, robots will be capable of performing virtually any kind of physical work, from factory and warehouse jobs to house cleaning, goods delivery, elderly care, and even complex engineering tasks. And if Tesla's forecasts are correct, the cost of such robots could decline dramatically over time. The company has already hinted that a mass-market version of Optimus could potentially cost less than a car. That means that one day millions of families may be able to afford their own household robot. But this is where the most concerning part of the story begins. Humanity has never faced a technological leap quite like this before. There have been computers, smartphones, the internet, and electric vehicles. But all of those were tools. Optimus is no longer just a tool. It is a physical machine equipped with artificial intelligence that can move independently in the real world, interact with people, and make decisions based on neural networks. Many experts believe that if Tesla truly succeeds in scaling Optimus production to hundreds of thousands or even millions of units, the consequences for the global economy could be enormous. The labor market would be among the first things to change. Robots could replace a vast amount of low-paid physical work. Warehousing, logistics, manufacturing, delivery, cleaning, security, and maintenance could all begin to automate at a rapid pace. The speed of these changes could be so great that governments may struggle to adapt in time. Some economists are already warning that the widespread adoption of humanoid robots could trigger the largest transformation of the labor market since the Industrial Revolution. Imagine a future city where thousands of delivery robots move through the streets, where stores are operated by machines, where factories are almost entirely autonomous, and where construction sites run around the clock thanks to humanoid systems. All of this is beginning to look less like science fiction and more like a realistic possibility. Elon Musk appears to fully understand the scale of the changes that may be coming. This is why he increasingly talks about universal basic income and the need to prepare society for an era in which AI and robots perform most human labor. Ideas that were once considered utopian are now being discussed seriously, even among politicians and major investors. It is also interesting that Tesla may be able to use the enormous volumes of data collected from its vehicles to train Optimus. Tesla essentially possesses one of the largest AI infrastructures in the world. Millions of vehicles train Tesla's neural networks every day to analyze environments, objects, human movements, and complex traffic situations. As a result, some of these technologies can potentially be transferred to robots as well. Many analysts believe this is one of the key reasons why Optimus is advancing so quickly. Another topic attracting significant attention today is the rumor of a so-called human-like version of Optimus. According to sources, Tesla is experimenting with new surface materials that make the robots appear far less mechanical. This includes synthetic skin, more realistic facial movements, and even attempts to create emotional responses through eye animations and subtle head movements. If these rumors prove true, the world could see robots that look remarkably similar to humans for the first time. This is already generating serious debate among scientists and ethics experts because it raises an enormous number of questions. How will people perceive such robots? What rights might humanoid systems receive in the future? Will it be possible to distinguish a human from a machine? How will relationships between people change if robots become part of everyday life? All of this still sounds like the plot of a science fiction movie, but many are convinced that this is exactly the direction in which the world is moving. The Optimus discussion has become especially intense against the backdrop of the rapid development of artificial intelligence. After the explosive growth of generative AI systems such as ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, and other neural networks, it became obvious that AI is advancing much faster than was expected just a few years ago. And now that intelligence is beginning to acquire a physical body. This is what many people consider the true beginning of a new technological era. According to industry leaks, Tesla is also working aggressively on enabling robots to interact with one another as a unified network. In other words, the Optimus of the future could potentially exchange experience instantly with millions of other robots through Tesla's cloud infrastructure. If one robot learns how to perform a new task, that skill could be distributed to all the others almost immediately. And this could become a revolution on a scale never seen before. Imagine millions of humanoid machines around the world learning simultaneously every second. the rate of evolution of such a system would be extraordinary. That is why some researchers already describe Optimus not simply as a robot, but as a potential foundation for the global AI infrastructure of the future. It is also interesting that governments are beginning to pay increasingly close attention to the development of such technologies. In Washington, Brussels, and Beijing, policymakers fully understand that the country that first achieves a large-scale robotic economy will gain a tremendous advantage. And this is not only about economics. Robots could completely transform military industries, logistics, weapons manufacturing, and strategic supply chains. Some analysts believe that the United States is effectively entering a new technological race, not only for artificial intelligence but also for humanoid robots. And Tesla could become America's primary weapon against China, which is also rapidly increasing its investments in robotics. Meanwhile, Musk continues to make increasingly bold statements. According to him, in the long term, Optimus could become the most valuable product in Tesla's history. And when you think about it, that sounds entirely plausible. A car is needed by one family, but robots could eventually be used by billions of people. At home, in factories, offices, healthcare, construction, the military, and even in space. One particularly fascinating scenario involves the use of Optimus on Mars. Musk has repeatedly hinted that robots will be the first to build infrastructure for future SpaceX colonies. In essence, Optimus could become humanity's primary workforce for the exploration and settlement of other planets. This is one reason why Tesla and SpaceX are increasingly viewed as parts of a single enormous project. But despite all the optimism, there is another side to this story. Many specialists warn that the widespread adoption of humanoid robots could lead to profound social disruptions. People fear losing their jobs. They fear total automation. They fear that corporations could gain excessive power through AI and robotics. Some researchers already compare what is happening today to the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century, when machines started replacing manual labor. That period led to widespread protests and social crises. Humanity may now be facing something even larger. Nevertheless, Tesla continues moving forward at an extraordinary pace. The company is building new data centers, expanding its AI infrastructure, purchasing thousands of GPUs for neural network training, and strengthening its robotics division. All of this suggests that Musk is making an enormous bet on a future in which robots become an integral part of everyday reality. If even half of the current rumors and predictions turn out to be true, then the coming years may go down in history as the moment when humanity first witnessed the beginning of the mass era of humanoid machines. An era in which robots cease to be a rarity and become as commonplace as smartphones or automobiles are today. The world may change much faster than many people expect. And perhaps, right now, inside Tesla's Gigafactories, the production of technologies is already beginning that will completely rewrite the future of civilization. But perhaps the most alarming scenario begins the moment Optimus moves beyond Tesla's factories. Because a robot inside a closed manufacturing facility is one thing, and millions of humanoid machines walking the streets of cities is something entirely different. According to analysts at Morgan Stanley and a number of American futurists, humanity may be on the verge of the emergence of a new social environment where people and robots coexist side by side almost everywhere. Imagine an ordinary morning in Los Angeles or New York just a few years from now. The streets are filled not only with people. Alongside them move Tesla delivery robots, courier robots, construction robots, robotic police assistants, and robotic loaders. In cafes, part of the staff may be fully automated. At airports, humanoid systems will carry luggage and guide passengers. In hospitals, robots will assist nurses and doctors. And most remarkably, many experts believe all of this could begin much sooner than the public expects. According to insiders, Tesla is already testing different Optimus models designed for specific tasks. One version is intended for heavy physical labor in factories, another for logistics and warehouses, and a third for household assistants. But the most actively discussed development is that new line of humanoid robots designed to look as human as possible. Sources claim that Tesla wants people to feel more psychologically comfortable with robots around them. That is why company engineers are reportedly working on more natural body movements, smoother walking patterns, and even systems of subtle micro-gestures. Some journalists have already called this the android moment, the moment when robots stop looking like machines and begin to be perceived as something between technology and humans. And this raises an enormous number of philosophical questions. Humanity has never before lived alongside artificial beings that appear so realistic. Interestingly, at the same time, Tesla is dramatically expanding its artificial intelligence efforts. Following the launch of massive AI clusters and the expansion of data centers, many analysts have begun connecting these developments directly to Optimus. A humanoid robot requires extraordinary computing power. It must analyze its surroundings in real time, understand speech, recognize emotions, build a model of the world around it, and make decisions instantly. In essence, each robot becomes a physical embodiment of artificial intelligence. That is why some experts believe Tesla is no longer simply building factories, but rather the infrastructure of a new digital civilization. Gigafactories are gradually becoming centers for the mass production of autonomous AI systems. And while smartphones were once the primary symbol of technological revolution, humanoid machines are slowly taking their place. Against this backdrop, American media outlets are increasingly publishing concerns about the future of the labor market. Some economists believe that the mass deployment of Optimus could trigger a genuine wave of unemployment across certain industries. Jobs involving repetitive physical tasks may be particularly vulnerable. Warehouses, supermarkets, logistics hubs, manufacturing facilities, and service industries could begin changing before people's eyes. However, Tesla supporters respond to these concerns differently. They argue that robots will not destroy humanity, but instead free people from difficult physical labor. In their view, humanity is entering an era in which people can focus on creativity, science, engineering, and personal development, while machines gradually take over physical work. This is the vision of the future most often described by Elon Musk himself. At the same time, a growing number of voices within the industry argue that the true revolution will begin not when robots become intelligent, but when they become affordable. This is where Tesla once again gains a significant advantage. Thanks to its experience with ultra-large-scale manufacturing, the company may be able to dramatically reduce the cost of humanoid platforms. Some analysts suggest that in the future, basic versions of Optimus could be sold at the price of an average car, or even cheaper. And if that really happens, the market could explode, because demand for a universal humanoid assistant is potentially enormous. Millions of families, businesses, and companies around the world would want to have their own robot. This means Tesla could face absolutely insane order volumes. Some investors already call Optimus potentially the most profitable product of the 21st century. Elon Musk previously stated that robotics could turn Tesla into a company worth tens of trillions of dollars. And although this currently sounds like science fiction, more and more people are starting to take such forecasts seriously, especially given how rapidly artificial intelligence itself is developing. Neural networks are already capable of writing texts, creating videos, programming, analyzing massive datasets, and conducting full conversations. And now, this intelligence is gaining arms, legs, and the ability to physically interact with the world. This is what many describe as the beginning of a new era for humanity. And perhaps in a few years we will look back at the present period in the same way we now look at the emergence of the early internet or the first iPhone, as a moment when everything was just beginning, and most people still did not understand how profoundly the world was about to change. But perhaps the most unexpected part of the entire story is how quickly society is beginning to get used to the idea of living alongside robots. Not so long ago, humanoid machines seemed like something far away from science fiction movies. Today, millions of people watch Tesla Optimus videos every day, discussing their movements, appearance, and capabilities as if they are no longer prototypes, but almost finished products. And this psychological adaptation may turn out to be even more important than the technology itself. Because once humanity stops perceiving robots as something strange, the process of mass robotization becomes almost irreversible. According to some analysts, Tesla is now trying to do what Apple once did with smartphones, not just create a device, but change human behavior and the entire structure of daily life. And if Optimus truly becomes mass-produced, the consequences will be felt everywhere. The real estate market will change because robots will be able to maintain huge houses with almost no human involvement. Transportation and delivery will change. Medicine will change. Even the very concept of work may gradually begin to disappear in its traditional form. At the same time, many experts believe that we are only witnessing the very beginning of this process. The first generations of Optimus will likely be relatively limited in capability. But later, robots will evolve rapidly thanks to artificial intelligence and continuous learning through the Tesla network. And one day, humanity may wake up in a world where millions of machines are already working alongside humans in almost every sphere of life. And the most remarkable thing is that all of this no longer feels like distant science fiction. Too many major players are already investing billions of dollars into humanoid robotics. Tesla, Figure AI, Chinese tech giants, startups from Japan and South Korea. All of them understand that a new global race has begun, a race to build the first truly mass-market robot. If Elon Musk really manages to launch mass production of millions of Optimus units before competitors, it could become the moment that fundamentally reshapes human civilization, a moment after which the world will never be the same again.